Imagine a world where fear dominates everyday life, where the skies are filled with warplanes, cities produce, and millions of people are struggling just to survive. This was World War II, the most devastating conflict in human history, a war that changed forever. Even though World War I had ended, true peace never arrived. Instead, the aftermath created deep problems, especially for Germany. The country was forced to accept harsh penalties, which led to a collapse, widespread unemployment, and growing anger among its people. In this environment, a leader rose to power, Adolf Hitler. He promised to restore Germany's strength and pride. But behind those promises was a dangerous plan to expand German territory and dominate Europe. Step by step, Hitler rebuilt Germany's military, ignoring international agreements and preparing for war. On September 1st, 1939, Germany invaded Poland. This single action triggered a global conflict. Soon after, Britain and France declared war on Germany. World War begun. The world quickly split into two sides. On one side were the Axis powers, Germany, Italy, and Japan. On the other side were the Allied powers, Britain, France, the Soviet Union, and later, the United States. Germany introduced a powerful strategy known as Blitzkrieg, or lightning war. Using fast-moving tanks, aircraft, and coordinated attacks, German forces quickly captured much of Europe. Countries like Belgium, the Netherlands, and even France fell in a short time. The fall of France shocked the world and gave Germany control over much of Western Europe. Next, Germany turned its attention to Britain. In what became known as the Battle of Britain, German forces launched massive air attacks. However, the British resisted strongly and successfully defended their country. This marked one of Hitler's first major failures. At the same time, in Asia, Japan was expanding its empire. It had already invaded parts of China and continued pushing further across the region. Then, in December 1941, Japan launched a surprise attack on Pearl Harbor, a United States naval base in Hawaii. This attack brought the United States directly into the war, turning it into a truly global conflict. As the war continued, Germany made a critical mistake by invading the Soviet Union. The harsh winter and strong resistance from Soviet forces slowed down the German army. One of the most important turning points came at the Battle of Stalingrad, where German forces suffered a devastating defeat. This marked the beginning of a shift in the war. At the same time, Allied forces began pushing back on multiple fronts. In North Africa and Italy, they gained ground and weakened Axis control. In 1944, Allied forces launched a massive invasion of Nazi-occupied France, known as D-Day. This operation allowed them to establish a strong position in Europe and begin liberating occupied territories. As Allied forces advanced from the west and Soviet troops moved in from the east, Germany became surrounded. By 1945, the situation was hopeless. Adolf Hitler died, and shortly after, Germany surrendered. The war in Europe had come to an end. However, the conflict in the Pacific was still ongoing. Japan continued to fight despite heavy losses. In an effort to end the war quickly, the United States made a devastating decision. Atomic bombs were dropped on the cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Overwhelming, and soon after, Japan surrendered. In 1945, World War II finally came to an end. The war caused the deaths of more than 70 million people and left much of the world in ruins. It changed global politics, economies, and the balance of power forever. After the war, the United Nations was established with the goal of promoting peace and preventing future conflicts. World War II was not just a war, it was a powerful lesson for humanity. A reminder of the consequences of hatred, ambition, and unchecked power. If you want more powerful history stories like this, make sure to subscribe and stay with us.